Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Israel Brief brought to you by Lay of the Land. I'm Rolene Marks, and before we get into today's news headlines, I would like to wish all of our American viewers and readers and friends and family a very, very happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day, and thank you for all your support of the State of Israel and for being a great ally to the State of Israel. So without further ado, let's get into today's top stories. This week we've been taking a look at the protests which eventually became violent riots that took place across the country after the tragic killing of 19-year-old Ethiopian Solomon Tekah, who was killed by an off-duty police officer. Now, over the last couple of days, these protests, which started out as relatively peaceful, turned violent with no fewer than 136 people arrested for protesting violently. Over 110 police officers were injured, and nearly 100 people were injured in the protests. The family of the bereaved came out and actually appealed to the public to please exercise restraint and to exercise calm, especially now during the Shiva period, these 7 days of mourning. And once Shiva concludes, there will be a peaceful memorial to remember the life of Solomon Tekah next week. May his memory be forever blessed. And these riots have brought out or have started a major conversation in Israel over whether or not enough has been done to try and integrate members of the Ethiopian community who still face a lot of challenges and quite frankly a lot of discrimination. And we hope that there will be no more incidents like this. Enough is enough, and that better care and better effort is being taken to make sure that members of our more vulnerable communities are better integrated into society. Following last week's very successful confab in Manama in Bahrain, the Trump administration, or rather the White House, has mentioned that they will be releasing further steps in their peace plan, and it could be as soon as next week. And when interviewed about the Palestinian attitude towards the Peace to Prosperity proposal that was put forward by Jared Kushner at the Bahrain conference, Kushner responded with, the reaction by boycotting has been hysterical and very, very counterproductive. And President Trump saying that despite the hostilities between the current administration and the Palestinians, he is still open to meeting with Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas. And now we go further down south, where addressing members of the regional councils and mayors in areas of the south and his security cabinet this week, Prime Minister Netanyahu at the IDF Gaza headquarters spoke about the fact that Israel wants to restore calm to the south plagued by many fires as a result of incendiary devices and rockets and mortars that have been launched from the Gaza Strip into Israel periodically. Now, several mayors and council representatives actually walked out of the meeting in protest to this, but Prime Minister Netanyahu saying, while we want to restore calm, if necessary, we will engage in a wide-scale campaign in the Gaza Strip. And of course, this is something that we would want to avoid on both sides. We would want to avoid any further conflagration and return to some kind of peace. So those are today's top stories. And if you're looking for something awesome to read this weekend, check out our site at www.layoftheland.online. Tonight you can read all about how people have preserved memory from as far back as the Anglo-Boer War, all this through letters, and these have been preserved, and you can read Dave Kaplan's excellent article about that. You can also like us and follow us on Facebook. And for those of you watching on YouTube, if you want to continue to get your Israel Brief updates at a moment's notice, simply click on the subscribe button below. So we wish you all a happy 4th of July if you're in the United States. And everybody else, a wonderful weekend and a Shabbat Shalom. Until Monday, I'm Rolene Marks with the Israel Brief.